We've got 5 minutes, but please leave time for questions. Thank you.
Yep. I would like to say this is that I realise the complexity once you start to dive into the subject, but in the finish, it's an attitude that we take to the world, and it's an attitude we take to ourselves that matters. And I would like to point out that most parliamentarians, most political figures in our country are very appreciative of the fact that way in many areas this little country punches above its weight. They're happy to say that, and then they want to say they need more time so they can work it all out. I'm opposed to the 4-year term. I think the 3-year term has been of great value. I come from this experience, and I think the experience is the same as many of my generation. I'm a 75-year-old farmer who's enjoyed being part of this country. I spent 5 or 6 years out of the country working elsewhere. I worked down in the Caribbean in the 60s and 70s, and watched the machinations of politics all down through South America, and came home very rejuvenated about this little country's ability to be vibrant, stay in front of international events. And it's largely because we don't have a constitution. We have a verbal constitution that keeps us discussing this all the time. And I'm very aware that we have a diaspora that is larger than most people in the world. We are so well connected internationally with people everywhere that we can and do and use that understanding. So we stay in front of stuff. I think this is a terrible distraction to go back and ask the public again in such short order. Well, we have another 4-year term. It's all seems to be based on we know best in Wellington. It's a product of centralisation and authoritarianism, which I agree with the civil liberties, which I just listened to before, saying is that we have this creeping authoritarianism. We should stay in front of that. And so that's the reason for I think the ability to react to events the way we are, and we're right in the box seat to redress the international issue that many people now see as a major issue, and that is centralisation, authoritarian control versus localisation. This country can lead the way on that, and does, with our tikanga Māori and with our relationship with our rural communities. We can get much better. I hear people saying that they need a longer term so they can get stuff done. In my experience, there's never been anything that's the length of term. It's all a lot of other events that turn up that screw the scrum for you. And good legislation goes from one party to the next and out the other end with the officials. Bad legislation gets stopped halfway. Contested stuff gets stopped halfway. Contest's not a bad thing. Take a little longer. Hi-ho. So that's pretty much my thing. I think that we have got a really good thing going in this country, and you guys are out to waste a whole lot of time trying to screw it with this bill. Throw it out. Get on with some of the serious stuff that's going on around us at the moment. And bear in mind that we're Kiwis, and we're simple. You know, we give people a go always. In local schools, wherever it is, people get given a go, and they go, yeah, nah. And that's what the 3-year term gives us. Yeah, nah. Okay? And so that's my submission. I know that there's more complexity. I'm deeply into the idea that we couldn't proceed without a constitution. I'm also very aware that the bill is providing for some sort of dirty little deal to be done with select committees so that Wellington folk have got more control. Okay? So that's me. Thank you.
Hey, well, thank you for a bit of straight talking. We appreciate that. Any questions?
That was very clear.
Very good.
If there's a moment. Thank you very much, Mr. Purnell. I was interested in what you think should be made more local and less centralised, if there's particular areas that you have in mind.
Yes, that's for me. If you want to go to the heart of the matter, it's over the biological processes. We've decentralised some of the stuff to a ridiculous level, and we're good at doing that. And it wasn't a bad idea that this country had a look, for example, at the ETS and realised that the chasing and demonising one little part of a biological event, methane, was just stupid. The rest of the world's walked away, and we're ready to move on. You know, I would use that. I would use the example of our seabed and foreshore argument. We've had that discussion. We now know that's stupid. We know that if we want to fix climate change, that we have to look after the photosynthetic ability of the coastal marine environment. We know that now. We don't need a 4-year term for the officials to come back and waste more of our time. We know it instinctively as an attitude.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Purnell. Very good. Thank you for your free submission.
Okay.
Right, now we're on to...
Okay, I'll just submit on that particular one. I did get the wrong submitter's name on there, Max Purnell, and that's just accidentally skipping across on it. I'm not sure if Ray was able to catch what was said during that period of time. But as I'd say, very short, sharp, straight to the point.
Daisy,
yeah. I'll say let's move on to Daisy.